this is where what really shocked me. He goes, you live that like F it attitude. Like, well, you know what? I've tried my best to do good. I did anger management. I did GD. I did counseling. Nothing's making me happy. So I'm going to just live however I want. And that's when you become an animal, he says. And that's literally what happened with me.
So that's the first meeting though. But like, what was the next step of like, okay, like how does that meeting end? And when are you like, all right, I'm going to come back and talk to this guy, or it's still a new guy? Were you just like full on, I trust him, or like what was the next step to build that trust?
Yeah, that day, like I trusted him fully because he then preached the gospel to me. He explained to me that I was normal and that me being a sinner was normal. He explained to me the concept of sin, and he used an apple seed analogy where he's like, when you look at the seed of an apple, where is the apples? You don't see it. But when you plant it, as you water it, as it grows, what kind of fruits does it only produce? It only produces apples. And I'm like, okay, so where's he going with this, right? And he spoke in like these analogies, which were very simple to understand.
He's great at that.
He is.
Yeah.
And so he sat there and he said, Johnny, imagine this apple seed that can only produce apples, then tries to produce mangoes. No matter how hard it tries, it's only going to produce apples. Right? And I'm like, yeah. He said, likewise, you are the brood of evildoers, meaning sin. He showed me a Bible verse. And he said, you as a baby, you don't see the sin, but as it grows, as it matures, it can only produce what kind of fruit? Sin. So as you're younger, you're like, you're not sinning as much. And as you get older, you're sin. And you do all this stuff and you join a gang. You eventually shoot at people. You go to prison. That's all sins, right? And I said, yeah. And he said, so that's why you're normal. You just didn't understand that. You trying to do good is like an apple seed or an apple tree trying to produce mangoes. And that's why you're broken. And Satan, he started to explain Satan, how he works is he gets you to do good, someone who can't produce any good, so that when you're trying, he breaks your spirit. And then when your spirit is broken, then he creeps in and just drags you wherever he wants to go. And I'm like, dang, that's crazy. You know, he's like, haven't you tried? Didn't you want to do the things you wanted to do? And he showed me Romans chapter 7, verse 15, which says, the things that I do, I don't allow. The things that I want to do, I don't do. And the things that I hate, I keep on doing. So he goes, don't you hate depression? Yeah, then why are you always depressed? Don't you feel like you hate loneliness? But why do you always feel alone? And he's like, because there's sin. You're from the seed of sin. Like you're this, it's like an apple who hates apple tree that hates producing apples. It wants to produce mangoes, but it keeps producing apples, and it tries hard to produce mangoes, but it cannot. And he says that's who you are, and that's why you feel so broken and shattered, because it's impossible for you to do good according to the standard of God, but you keep on trying to do it, and that's why you failed. And in the end, he goes, and this is where what really shocked me. He goes, you live that like F it attitude. Like, well, you know what? I've tried my best to do good. I did anger management. I did GD. I did counseling. Nothing's making me happy. So I'm going to just live however I want. And that's when you become an animal, he says. And that's literally what happened with me. But yeah, that was the first time I really kind of trusted that he had very good intention. And just being able to see, being around so many people who are fake, very superficial, very opportunistic. When I finally met him, I could see through and through that he wasn't opportunistic. None of this stuff was benefiting him, you know, and he was fighting for me. And no one has ever done that. People have always used me. People have always, like, you know, whether it was like drug deals or things like that, women, even all that. It was never anything that came from like a compassionate, empathetic like point of view. But this pastor who has nothing to do with me, doesn't matter if I join his congregation. It doesn't help him in any way. I wasn't offering money. I didn't even have money at the time. He was just very like, I genuinely want to help you. And that's when I was able to trust him. And I felt like this man, if there is a God out there, was sent by God.
I definitely didn't. I definitely never did it on your level, but there was definitely similar feelings in my life. I feel like everybody in this room has felt that before, where it's like you try so hard and it doesn't work out, and you're just like, then what's the point?
Yep.
Right. And it even works the opposite direction of trying to be good.
Yep.
And you're just like, dude, I've tried to live a good life, and you know it still doesn't work out for me. So
yeah.